overwhelm and overthinking. I wanted to talk about these two monsters today because they are monsters which I shouldn't label them as monsters. Let me rewind myself. I'm here to talk about overwhelm and overthinking, which are in and of themselves neutral, which is why I rewound, even if I can't English it myself there. I wanted to talk about these things because these are two things in life which I have faced, and I am absolutely, for better and worse, no stranger to overthinking or overwhelm. Now, here's the thing. Both of those things are essentially just avoidance tactics to avoid feeling something or doing something. Now, as you may have heard me speak about before, I'm a recovered procrastinator. I'm a recovered procrastinator and a recovered perfectionista. And very gratefully have let both of those things go for the most part. You know, they sometimes rear their little ugly heads to just kind of remind me that they were once a part of me. And I'm like, hey, you're not anymore active though, so bye. See you later. Have a nice vacation. Anyway, overwhelm and overthinking were things that I used to, and this is the reason I wanted to make a video about them. It's not just for the simple fact of, oh yeah, you know, these are things you're going to deal with in life and yada yada. No, it's because not even that I necessarily understood how to overcome them. I simply understood what they were. And what they are, like I said, is just avoidance tactics at the end of the day. You are just essentially putting off whatever you're not feeling or whatever you're not doing. It's really kind of crazy because if you've ever been overwhelmed, then you know how it literally feels like the sky is falling, like the literal ceiling above your head is going to come crumbling and crashing down. That is the level of pressure you feel when you feel overwhelmed. Now, here's the funny part. The comical part is that how would you remedy the situation? Well, easy. No joke, easy. You take action. By not procrastinating, you immediately ease some of the overwhelm. Like, let's say the overwhelm is coming from a project. This is just a completely random example. Let's say the overwhelm is coming from a big project you have to do. You can allow yourself to be option one. Option one, you can allow yourself to be completely ceased by feeling that overwhelming pressure and being like, oh my gosh, that's so much, like, ooh. And you can let that be the dominant thing. Or you can acknowledge your fear of the thing perhaps, and instead simply do it. And I know that is the harder action. However, it is so, so powerful because like I said, the minute, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the minute that you take any action, you will immediately feel relief. Why? Because you've already taken a step to take that load that you feel, the heaviness, the weight off of yourself by, even if you take the tiniest step in the right direction, you're still relieving yourself of that little bit of pressure. Little by little, you can start to take the burden off. And then before you know it, you know, whatever time period down the road, you finally let go of all of that. You're no longer overwhelmed. And the other funny snowballing, compounding part of that is that the amount of time it usually takes compared to what we think it's going to take and feel in a state of overwhelm is like that. Comparatively, it takes like this much time, and we're in an overwhelmed state. It's gonna take this long for me to do the thing. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Who told you that? Just like with labels, I would invite you to question, who told you that? Because if it's not 100% true, then scrap it. And actually that's true for, you know, almost anything in life. Honestly, if the belief doesn't serve you, scrap it. But that's a whole tangent, which I will save for a more dedicated video. In the meantime, I hope this helps you to address, shall we say, not to conquer, not to beat, whatever, to address your overwhelm and your overthinking when it arises. Understand that they're essentially just stall tactics. You're essentially just procrastinating. And the really wild thing about that is that to relieve both of those things, to relieve overwhelm and to relieve overthinking, the answer, the solution is quite literally an action. And you may have heard other people talk about this. Often people who talk about anxiety and depression will talk about taking the small steps in a day in order to get back kind of on track, i.e. making your bed when you get up, or even getting out of bed and then celebrating the win, you know, things like that. So If this video has helped you, please do share it with anyone that you think it could serve. Subscribe as I make these videos daily. Oh, and don't forget to ding the bell because otherwise you may not get the notifications, and it really helps out a small content creator like myself. And last but not least, if you, my gorgeous soul, need any help or coaching, feel free to reach out at this email address where it would be my 100,000,000% pleasure to serve you in whatever way I can. So have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day. Namaste and much love. Stay healthy. Bye. No, it's not. And we're like being like Pat while they I can't even say it still. You take action. Little by little, you can start to take the burden off. If the belief doesn't serve you, scrap it.